Joe Rogan, one of the most influential voices in modern media, is once again at the center of political controversy as the 2024 U.S. election approaches. With his unfiltered opinions and thought-provoking interviews, Rogan has stirred the pot by showing open support for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
I think Ron DeSantis would work as a good president. I mean, what he's done for Florida has been admirable.
This move has sparked heated debate, raising questions about his influence on voters and the potential impact on the upcoming election. But what's behind Rogan's decision, and how has his audience reacted? Let's dive in. Over several episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan has made no secret of his admiration for DeSantis, particularly praising his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic.
He's more reasonable than anything that I'm seeing on the left.
Yeah.
At least with the way he handled COVID.
Yeah.
Rogan applauded DeSantis for resisting the lockdown measures imposed by many other states, viewing it as a defense of personal freedom. While some saw DeSantis' approach as reckless, Rogan and many of his followers saw it as a stand for individual rights, something central to Rogan's libertarian values. Rogan has also been vocal in his support for DeSantis' stance against what is often referred to as woke culture.
It's all woke culture. It's this culture of compliance. They want you to comply, getting people to listen to you and do what you want them to do.
DeSantis has made headlines by pushing back on progressive agendas surrounding race and gender issues in schools, including legislation that restricts discussions on critical race theory and limits how LGBTQ+ topics are addressed in the classroom. For Rogan, these moves align with his broader belief in personal freedom and his skepticism of what he views as excessive government interference in individual lives. Rogan sees DeSantis' actions as a defense of free speech and a rejection of what he perceives as the politicization of education. This resonates strongly with Rogan's audience, many of whom share his belief that governmental overreach and ideological indoctrination in schools are eroding individual liberties. While some view DeSantis' policies as extreme, Rogan seems to appreciate the governor. It's important to note that Rogan's podcast reaches over 11 million listeners per episode. This isn't just casual political commentary. Rogan's endorsement could have a measurable impact on how people view DeSantis, especially among undecided or independent voters. We've seen this before. Rogan's interview with Bernie Sanders in 2020 gave the progressive senator a significant boost, particularly among younger voters. Could this support do the same for DeSantis in 2024? Naturally, Rogan's support for DeSantis hasn't gone unnoticed or unchallenged.
You know, he is not perfect. He's a human being, but what he's done is stand up for freedoms.
On one side, progressives have criticized the endorsement, pointing to DeSantis' policies on education, LGBTQ+ rights, and immigration as being far too extreme. Many argue that Rogan's libertarian, open-minded image doesn't align with DeSantis' conservative positions on these issues. On the other hand, Rogan hasn't been shy about defending his views. In his typical no-nonsense style, he's pointed out that his platform invites diverse perspectives, and he's entitled to express political opinions, even controversial ones.
I've had people on that, like, no one knows who they are. I'm picking these people just only based on whether or not I want to talk to them.
For Rogan, it's all about having open, honest conversations, even when those views don't fit neatly into one political camp. Interestingly, not all conservatives are fully on board with Rogan's endorsement of DeSantis. While many appreciate his support, there remains a notable segment within the Republican base that is hesitant. Rogan's outspoken nature and willingness to challenge both sides of the political spectrum have earned him a loyal following, but they have also led to skepticism among more traditional conservatives. His reputation for inviting controversial guests and entertaining unconventional or fringe ideas has made him a bit of a wild card. For some, this unpredictability raises concerns about how closely his views align with the core values of the conservative movement. So what does Rogan's endorsement mean for the 2024 election? Rogan's impact is significant and multifaceted. His vast and varied audience, ranging from libertarians to progressives and independents, places him in a unique position to influence a wide spectrum of voters. In a political landscape that's increasingly polarized, his support could be a game changer, especially among those who feel alienated from conventional political discourse. In an election where both major parties are scrambling for undecided voters, Rogan's endorsement could tip the scales. His ability to reach and engage people who are disillusioned with mainstream politics makes his voice particularly potent. Whether or not DeSantis secures the Republican nomination, Rogan's influence will likely continue to shape the conversation and impact voter perceptions leading up to the 2024 election. Whether you agree with him or not, Joe Rogan's influence on politics is undeniable. His support for Ron DeSantis has stirred up new debates about freedom, government control, and the future of leadership in America. As we head toward the 2024 election, one thing is clear. Rogan's voice will continue to be one of the loudest in the room, and his support could very well shape the outcome. What do you think? Will Rogan's endorsement change the trajectory of the 2024 election? Or is this just another chapter in his long history of provocative opinions? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates on Rogan in the upcoming election.